Hello, welcome back to 10 at 10. My name is Michael Ramage. I'm the director of the Cyber Education Research Center here at Murray State University, and welcome back to 10 at 10. 10 at 10 is brought to you through a partnership between Murray State University, Sprocket, West Kentucky, and KY Innovation. And welcome back to episode 248. Even number episode. We are looking at the news of the day, and just let me get into a few things that I wanted to point out. First of all, with the budget impasse, we have also allowed the CISA 2015, which was the Information Sharing Act that was passed, Cybersecurity Information Sharing Act that was passed back in 2015. It was sunsetted after 10 years and needed to be reauthorized. It was not reauthorized, so it has lapsed as well. What does that mean? That means a few things. It means a few things that are of concern, frankly. Um, that bill provided some protections to private companies that were interested in sharing items with the government, or just indicators of compromise with each other. So, for example, companies are not allowed to collude. There's some laws against that. There's antitrust liability type things that you're not allowed to do. This bill protected them from those liabilities from a cybersecurity standpoint. If I emailed a government agency with information, then technically you can do an open records request, a FOIA request, and get that email or retrieve that information. And if you did that, that could provide some trade secret or protected information about my organization. So it exempted that type of information from a FOIA request. It allowed for some protection of shared information. It just some liabilities for that communication. It helped to incentivize, not even incentivize, protect organizations that wanted to share information. For now, that those protections are no longer there, and that portion has been that bill has lapsed. So hopefully that'll change soon. A couple of things I wanted to point out. Several months ago, we talked about Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech claimed that they were doing a number of things from a cybersecurity compliance standpoint. Specifically, it was over CMMC, which is a cybersecurity maturity model certification. It's a DoD requirement that organizations have. And Georgia Tech said, yeah, sure, we're doing all of these things, but in reality, they weren't. So this article that was published on Tuesday talks about that they settled and agreed to pay some fines over those issues. They agreed to pay $875,000 to resolve the allegations that it violated the False Claims Act by failing to meet required certification or security standards, but said they were doing it in contracts anyway. That's an important thing, I think, at least to note. And on that same mindset, this to me I find really interesting. We're in a world of AI, whether it is students or companies. We're in a world of AI, and we are relying on AI more than ever. There is a thing, generative AI. The whole idea of generative means that we are generating, that we are creating new information, we are writing new things. If you ask AI to write your report and it can't find sources, it will make sources up. If it can't find what you're looking for, generative AI. I was at a conference this past week talking about AI, and what's interesting about it is AI's deepest desire is to please you. Generative AI is trying to please you. If you ask it to do something, it wants to do it. It's trying to do it. It will even make up stuff to please you. That's what it does. It's called hallucinations. That's what that is. Well, so Deloitte, yes, that Deloitte, its Australia branch, um, wrote a report for the Australian government, and it came out that I believe it. I don't see it in this article right now, but 29 different times in the article or in the report, it reported things that were wrong. And the reason that they did is because they used AI to write the report. Not only did they use AI to write the report, and I'm not sitting here saying that you can't use AI to write your report because it's a great tool to use. It did not fact check what it was doing. Now, I like to use like Grammarly to help my grammar because I'm not a great writer. I'm just not. I know I need to be, but I'm just not. And so I like to use grammar to help me become a better writer. I don't necessarily want to use AI or Chat GPT to be my only source of information. I think that's a scary thing. I think that's a dangerous path that we go down. And so, anyway, because of what they did, Deloitte will refund the government for their report. You know, they got caught. They got caught. My my recommendation, and the reason I bring up this is, first of all, I find this really funny. But second of all, and more importantly, what I want you to know is that whether you're doing a report or you are, you're the writer of a report, or you have a contract that you're paying someone to write a report, you better make sure what the guidelines and what the rules are regarding AI content. There's an ethical component that if the contract says don't use AI, then you shouldn't use AI. Now there's scales, how much AI. I mean, technically, I guess spell check could be an AI thing, but there's degrees that you're too far, and you're too far. So you got to make sure that that's very explicitly spelled out in your contracts. I mean, Deloitte is a pretty reputable firm and they got caught doing it. So how many others are actually doing it? Also want to touch on what's the latest on ransomware. So as we look at this is the Q3 2025 ransomware roundup. And as we look at this, I want you to keep in mind a few things. What is the goal of ransomware? Why do we have ransomware? Why are bad guys using ransomware? Ransomware, the goal for bad guys using ransomware is to make money. So what this report is talking about is that business and manufacturing sectors are going up in ransomware attacks. Government and healthcare see a slight decline. Actually, education sector, not in this report, but in another report, has seen a large decline as well. What does that mean? Frankly, I think this is going to ebb and flow. We've talked about this before. The bad guys are going where they can see that they can make money. In this case, if they're seeing success in business and manufacturing, they're going to attack those sectors more. If some law, some regulations, some approaches changed in healthcare and government, then they're gonna there's going to be a decline there. If there's a new piece of software or technology that's being used in healthcare that's a vulnerability that the bad guys can exploit, then there's going to be an increase in attacks against healthcare. It's where can they get the best return on investment? That's what they're attacking, and I think that's what this report shows is that in that business and manufacturing area that we're seeing a 36% ransomware spike. So what my advice would be is no matter what sector you're in, no matter where you reside, be alert, be on the lookout, And if there's something that you can do to protect your organization, you should continue doing it. This is not a, all right, I'm clean, they're not going to look at me anymore and you can go away. It's going to continue to be there, and something that we got to stay vigilant on. All right. I'm going to stop there because we're out of time. Thank you very much for joining in. If you have questions, if you have articles, if you have something that you want me to talk about, please reach out, let me know, and I'll be happy to discuss. And I will see you next week back here on 10 at 10. Thank you. Bye.